Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Thursday, the 26th of October 2023. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 closed down 0.6% today to finish at 6,812 points. That's its lowest level of 2023. It was the tech sector that led the market lower on the back of poor results on Wall Street. All the banks were lower, with Westpac off more than 1%. CSL, Macquarie, Wesfarmers, Telstra, Woolworths, Transurban, they were all off more than 1% as well. Goodman and Aristocrat Leisure were down around 3%. As I mentioned, the tech stocks were the ones that were really sold off. REA fell more than 4%. Xero and Computershare both dropped around 2.5%. The best today were the iron ore miners, with the big three all rising. Story number 2, the Financial Review is reporting this afternoon that Crown Resorts, now controlled by Blackstone, narrowed its financial year loss to just under $200 million. Revenue jumped 44% to be $2.7 billion, but that wasn't enough to offset a massive $3 billion expense bill, bolstered by a big investment in compliance and remediation measures after all those inquiries into the gaming company. There's also additional costs around the opening of the Sydney Casino. The group is also preparing to pay a $450 million fine for breaking counter-terrorism and anti-money laundering regulations. Story number 3, there are plenty of annual general meetings going on at the moment. Some of the highlights: JB Hi-Fi boss Terry Smart says first quarter sales are trading in line with expectations, trending softer at its Australian electronics stores. However, white goods retail of the good guys, not doing so well. Revenue was down 12%. The chair of gas pipeline owner APA has called for realistic energy policies to avoid blackouts and higher prices for consumers. He said overly ambitious climate targets could cause political and economic upheaval. The APA board suffered a large protest vote today against its remuneration report amid concerns that performance targets are not high enough. Whitehaven Coal suffered a first strike against its executive pay regime. Almost 41% of investors voted against the miners' remuneration report at its shareholder meeting. And finally, Fortescue Metals made a slow start to the year in terms of iron ore exports, shipping less than forecast. The company said it remains on track to sell ore from Gabon this year, despite a military coup in the African nation. Story number 4, the founders of Chemist Warehouse have shared a $365 million dividend from the number one pharmacy chain. While profit fell 20%, audited accounts for Chemist Warehouse's parent company, CW Group, show the two founders and their families were paid $264 million in dividends in the year ended June 30, according to the Financial Review. Directors were also paid a further $101 million in dividends earlier this month. That's not a bad payback. The group's international expansion continues, with new Chemist Warehouse stores opening in New Zealand, Ireland and China. The group now has 545 stores. And story number 5, there's been another mass shooting in the US with at least 22 people dead and up to 60 injured after 2 separate shootings at a bowling alley in a bar in Maine in the northeast of the country. Police are searching for the alleged shooter, 40-year-old Robert Card, who is understood to have military experience, according to CNN. Local police posted a photo of the shooter on Facebook carrying what appeared to be a high-powered semi-automatic style weapon inside a bowling alley. Police also released a picture of a white SUV car and believe they know who the shooting suspect is. The US has recorded over 500 mass shootings this year, according to the Gun Violence Archive, a non-government organisation. Now, it defines a mass shooting as 4 or more people wounded or killed. 500 this year. Efforts to tighten gun controls, of course, have run up against opposition, mostly from Republicans. They're staunch defenders of the constitutional right to bear arms. That's it for the afternoon report for Thursday, the 26th of October, 2023. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Instagram, X and Facebook. Join Adam Lang and I tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.